Lior Pozin started e-commerce at the very young age of 14 years old, from just doing e-com to building an e-com software, which grew to become the leading e-commerce software in the world.
I cannot share the acquisition because it's a public company. As a software, as SaaS, we are in the 8 figures of annual subscription recurring revenue.
Usually like 10x.
That's the ranges. So the public speaking, even after me becoming the CEO and everything, it was still very, very, very hard for me. Fiverr CEO came to me and said, Lior, listen, tomorrow we need to talk for 5 minutes and share with all Fiverr employees about yourself. My mom works in a grocery store. My dad is a AC technician. And basically my entire life I just sponsored myself and had to make money to live and to enjoy life. So
Yeah.
Lior Pozin!
Good afternoon, and thank you for returning back to the channel, the Mahmoud Show. The podcast, as you guys know, we talk about business, self-improvement, and happiness. Today, I am joined by a very special guest. I say that every video, but of course, I mean it every time. I only bring the most special guests on the show, as you guys know. We recently had Elon Musk's dad, Elon Musk, and a bunch of other big names. We have a few other big episodes coming out with Jason Derulo, etc. I'm sat here today with Lior Pozin. Did I pronounce it right?
yeah.
Perfect. Who is a very, very big entrepreneur in the e-com space. As far as I know, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you started e-commerce at the very young age of 14 years old. You then transitioned from just doing e-com to building an e-com software, which grew to become the leading e-commerce software in the world. AutoDS, for those of you who don't know, you may have heard about it from Jordan Welch, as his company acquired Jordan Welch's viral vault. So this guy basically, Lior, is like the man behind the scenes who's now starting to build his own personal brand. I mean, he's been a speaker at Affiliate World, but he hasn't done too many interviews, right?
Yeah, just starting.
Just starting out. But he's the guy, for example, if you know Iman Gadzi's Educate system, one of the softwares they use is his software called AutoDS. So he's built literally the leading software in the world when it comes to e-com. So first of all, congrats to you, my friend, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So I want to get in then quickly. Luke Belmore, you're a mentor on like the Capital Club, and you're one of his mentors for his students. But you yourself, you don't sell any coaching individually, right? One-to-one.
Correct.
Right. So you only have like mentors from AutoDS.
Yeah, so I can share more about why
Sure.
I did this with, for example, with Luke Belmore. I mean, his Capital Club, I was a speaker in his last event.
Okay.
I recorded a full course for him that called Build to Scale.
Okay.
And the idea of this course is to show entrepreneurs and to e-commerce sellers how to move from being just e-commerce sellers to become actual business people and really build a business that can sustain even without them, and so they will be able to sell this business to other companies and run this business even without them. So that was the idea there. And I do that because it's my passion. It's my passion to help entrepreneurs really to succeed, same as I started without any business knowledge, any money, any connection. So that was the reason why I've done these things, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Nice, nice. And you had no money, like you don't come from any rich background.
No, I grew to immigrant parents. My mom works in a grocery store. My dad is a AC technician. And basically, my entire life, I just sponsored myself and had to make money to live and to enjoy life. So, yeah.
Wow. And talk to us about software, because it seems like everybody's moving in that space nowadays. It's like a buzzword now, SaaS, 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 SaaS. Obviously, your software was recently acquired by Fiverr, which made like global headlines all around the world as like a 29-year-old entrepreneur to make a big exit like that. Can you talk to us a bit about the figures behind that? Like what type of figures that was? I know that it was a very quick, you could say, acquisition.
Transaction, yeah.
So talk us through the process about that.
Yeah, so I started in very early age with the computers and development and everything. It all started when my dad wanted to give me a punishment for things, and he was blocking my computer, so I hacked my own computer to be able to use it because I really was addicted to this thing and really liked it. Then I was a developer for some years as freelance, and then I really developed AutoDS as a software for myself. With Fiverr, it was one of the potential acquirers. We weren't actively looking for that, but we had different companies, public companies, smaller companies, private equities that offered us the option to acquire us. The whole process took 23 days, which is crazy because usually an acquisition like that, even if you ask ChatGPT how long it will take to sell a company of more than 200 employees to a public company, you will see that it takes between 3 to 9 months.
Yeah.
For us, it took 23 days.
Wow.
So that's the process. It was like super quick for us, the due diligence process, like the quality check of the business and everything. We were more than 200 employees. We were in the between 100 to 200 million per year of revenue of our customers.
How much?
Between 100 to 200 per year.
Wow.
Yeah.
$100 million revenue.
Yeah, of
Wow.
our customers, like the GMV.
Okay.
And we, as a software, as SaaS, we are in the 8 figures of annual subscription
Wow.
recurring revenue.
Nice. Nice.
For the first 5 years, we weren't even profitable at all. Everything was spent back to the business, back for growth. A few times we almost went bankrupt when the bank called us and said, hey, we lock your accounts, like
Wow.
you're doing wrong things. And after 5 years, we finally became profitable and
Okay.
grew to this scale.
Wow. That's impressive.
Thank you.
So why do you think Fiverr did such a quick takeover for you guys? Like, why didn't they do more due diligence into it?
They did a very deep due diligence,
Okay.
but the thing is that time is the biggest enemy for acquisition process for any deal in general.
True.
And both their CFO and myself, we had a conversation and we talked about, hey, maybe we should run this process really fast so time will not be our enemy. And we came to this call with all the lawyers and the accountants and finance advisors from both sides. It was a Zoom call of like more than 10 people from each side. It was like they had more than 10 people from their side. It was like
Wow.
20 people in the call.
Wow.
And he's saying like, okay, guys, we are going to run this process in 25 days. And everyone is looking at him and like, no way. And then my lawyer asking me, Lior, what do you think? Can we run it in 25 days? And I'm like, yeah, of course, we are going to do it in 25 days.
Wow.
So everyone said, no way. And we said, yes way, we are going to run it in 25
Wow.
days. So we've done the process in 23 days. It was insane.
Wow. So basically, you and the CFO told like the rest of the team, like they joined and surprised. You're like, listen, drop everything else you're working on, 25 days, take over.
Yeah, it was like very surprising for everyone. They hired third-party advisory company for the legal side, for the finance side, because they couldn't handle that fast. And everyone was like, no way. Even in the end of the process, a few days before signing, people told them, hey, it's still not ready. And they're okay, check the important things. It doesn't matter if there is a minor thing. Like what really matters is the business. It's the important stuff. It's what everyone can see. And of course, from our end, we had to share everything transparently. If there is something that we hide, we cannot hide it in a process like that. It's illegal. So yeah, it was shared with them very transparently.
Wow. Incredible. So now you have 0% of AutoDS basically, or you still have some percent?
Now I have 0% in AutoDS, but I have shares in Fiverr because I still need the incentive, to keep running it in a good way. I have my own milestones for AutoDS, but also the milestones to keep driving Fiverr forward. So now the mission becomes much more interesting to me because it's not only the dropshipping and e-commerce anymore. Now it's like the whole make money online niche with freelancers from Fiverr, with AutoDS, with other niches in make money online that now we can focus on because we have the support of Fiverr.
So you're basically like a part owner of Fiverr now.
We are part of Fiverr, yeah.
So you can say I'm a part owner of Fiverr.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Fiverr's sick.
And also if you think about it, the connection between both companies really makes sense because dropshipping is one of the biggest categories on Fiverr. Dropshipping, store design, logo creation, e-commerce, like all these things are really big on Fiverr. And this is why Fiverr should have AutoDS. While on our end, if you want e-commerce sellers to succeed, it's not just the software. They also need people to help them. So this is why it was also makes sense for us to grow AutoDS.
Yeah. So talk me through for the audience who don't know what AutoDS does essentially and why Fiverr would want it, because it's still a bit confusing because Fiverr, they're a platform where people list services. Why would they want an e-com software?
So AutoDS is an all-in-one dropshipping platform. We help dropshippers with everything from store creation with the click of a button. With AI, we create a full store with design, with products, with theme, with product pages, everything with one click. Then they can find with us what to sell. We scan TikTok, Instagram, all the social media to show what's trending right now. So best ads, best organic posts, everything there. Then we have suppliers network. We have more than 50 million products in our database that you can just choose and import with the click of a button. And for products that are not there, we can source any product in the world for you from any supplier in China, and also not only in China. We work with Amazon, Walmart, AliExpress, Alibaba, 1688. So many different suppliers. We can find any product in the world from them, or if I will be very correct, it's 99.8% of the products. So we help to create the store, find products, supplier network, and then the whole automation behind it. And we work with Shopify, eBay, Amazon, TikTok shops, all different selling channels, WooCommerce, Etsy.
TikTok shop is a big one now, right?
TikTok shop is booming, yeah. It's huge. We have people who do dropshipping from Amazon with Amazon Prime to TikTok shops. So it's like arbitrage between these two marketplaces.
Yeah. Both ends of the spectrum.
And regarding the second question, why Fiverr would take it, so they have a lot of traffic in their website of people who look for store creation. Now with AutoDS, they can create a store for their users with the click of a button, and after they have the store ready, they can utilize Fiverr services like freelancers to create ads, to create designs, to run the ads. So that's one of the biggest barriers for people to start selling online, to create a store. If we create it for them with the click of a button, they can get more services from Fiverr. They can actually succeed and grow.
But it's still kind of competing with some Fiverr suppliers, right? Slightly, because they are, yes, eventually they may use the Fiverr suppliers, but in the beginning, they could have been suppliers on Fiverr or sellers on Fiverr who sell, let's say, website or, I'll help you find suppliers for your ecom brand, right? So it does kind of compete with those Fiverr sellers, no?
It's kind of competing with some of their freelancers. They're doing some of the things there. The beautiful thing about Fiverr that I really like is that they know how to find the win-win situation where both the freelancers and Fiverr win. So they find a way how to still use the freelancer services and AutoDS services together. So maybe they can speed up part of the operations that the freelancer would do. So things like that, they kind of combine both things together.
And this acquisition was very recent, just like a few months ago, basically. So let's say I was to go on Fiverr. How exactly do I become an AutoDS user? For example, if I was to go on Fiverr and search Ecom, would it just give me an ad for AutoDS, or how essentially does Fiverr sell the software to its users?
So right now it's very new. We just got acquired a few months ago, and it's still in progress of ideation and thinking how to do that in the right way. It's still not finalized, but what I shared before is just it's the idea, like the overall idea about the vision, how it should be. We don't know exactly yet where exactly in the system it will be in Fiverr.
Interesting. So, and you're also a speaker, right? That's why you're here in Dubai right now in Affiliate World, right? Your speech this year was about no's, right? And you were telling me a bit about it. Talk to us a bit about all the no's you faced on the way.
So I really spoke about the no's that I faced and how I overcame them and how they made me to become a better entrepreneur, a better version of myself, and AutoDS to become a better company. I can give some examples.
Sure.
So one of the interesting ones was about Enav. Enav was one of the first customers in AutoDS. And I remember that I was working in my computer until 3 a.m. as any other day. In the beginning, you do everything. You do finance, legal, development, product, whatever is needed, you
Driver,
do that.
cleaner, accountant.
Whatever is needed, you do everything. And I was working 3 a.m. I'm starting to receive a lot of messages on my Facebook, and I get like bling, 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 bling. And I'm like, okay, I should check what's going on there. So I open my Facebook Messenger, and I see a lot of messages from her. And one of them was, Lior, what's going on here? I got tens of sales. Congratulations. What's the problem? She's like, no, Lior, all these sales were sold for just $1 per product. What's going on here? Eventually, I was just trying my software and I had a code there that's saying change product price to $1. And by mistake, I ran it on all the products of all our users. All of them changed to $1.
Oh no.
Now, you're looking at that and you understand that your business is gone because you broke the accounts. You basically burned the businesses of any user that worked with you because probably they also got the sales. Now, I could give up
Crazy.
there and they could just say, hey, I'm sorry, it's a software, it happens, move on.
Yeah.
But I decided to work with her until 6 a.m. So from 3 a.m. till 6 a.m. we just worked together on communicating to her customers that I'm sorry, my software had a problem, it's a mistake, like really transparently.
Yeah.
Nothing happened to her stores, like because we really communicated it really well. eBay didn't suspend her, the
Nice.
payment provider kept working. And instead of giving up on this customer that we had this weird situation together, really like shitty situation, right? I told her in the end of the call, what do you think? Maybe you want to join and work with us in AutoDS and manage the customer support. So Enough became our first head of customer support.
No way.
After 5 years, she managed more than 50 employees in our customer support department, and it all happened because I didn't give up on her. I had this know from the software that basically burned all the accounts.
Yeah.
I didn't even have the money to pay her the minimum wage.
Wow.
I offered her to join us and work with us based on AutoDS's growth. So as we grow, she is
Yeah.
getting more payment, and that's how I got one of my first best employees.
Wow. What a story. I really like that. That's a good story. You know, it had everything. It had the suspense, had the drama, had the happy ending. I liked it. It was
Yeah.
nice. But also, it's interesting because you managed, and this is what I see a lot in successful entrepreneurs. They can take an event that's supposed to ruin them and twist it around and, come out on the other side. Because most of the time, most people, a big event happens, they quit. Something else happens, it's an excuse for them to stop. But there is, they say in every calamity, there's an opportunity, You just have to find it.
Yeah, so the research said, and that's one of the things I showed today, that 99% of all entrepreneurs will face a rejection in the very first stages of their businesses. Now, that makes sense. What's more interesting is that 9 out of 10 will face this rejection and quit. So it means that 90% out of 99% will face a rejection and just quit and stop their business. The real entrepreneurs are those who take this no and convert it to yes, to something that will actually take their business forward.
Yeah. Stuff. It's very tough. As an entrepreneur myself, I can say the first few months, and I've done many of these similar things where you interact with someone, sometimes I get a call, like a cold call, or and I'm thinking I should hire you. Because when you're an entrepreneur, the main thing is the talent. The most important thing of any business, I think, is a team, right?
100%. That's the best employees in our company. Our head of content, Liran, he is basically one of the first dropshippers that used our system. I didn't know English a few years ago, in a good level, so I just asked him to write for me a LinkedIn post, and from there a blog post, and from there record a video, and now he's our head of content. And he was just a dropshipper, just a customer in our software. Dor, who is our head of partnership, also, he was one of my students in my first mentorship program that I launched.
Wow.
And now then from there he moved to be customer support, then marketing, and now he's head of partnership.
Wow. Amazing. Beautiful. Question though. First of all, I want to know how much PayPal acquired you guys for. That's number one. If you can say a ballpark figure, that's number one. And number two, I want to find out, you said in the beginning you were doing the code yourself. So do you have a coding background? Were you the one who individually was writing the code for the software in the beginning?
Yeah, so unfortunately I cannot share the acquisition because it's a public company. I really would like to, but I cannot.
You can share how many figures?
I can say that our revenue was of a SaaS, of subscription, of 8 figures. And if you check multiplies in the stock market, you can understand what's the
usually
ranges.
10x.
That's the ranges, so you can
do the math.
You can do the math, and so that's about that. About the coding, I was coding from a very, very, very young age,
Wow.
even before 14. It started for me just as a IT guy, like just putting notes in different mailboxes from my neighbors of, hey, I want to fix your computer.
Wow.
That's how it started. It's not
Wow.
even coding, but that's like the geeky part of me. Then from there it moved to me developing the first forum for my school, like the online forums where people could communicate and
Yeah,
chat.
like a chat form.
Yeah, so that's what I started for my school. That was my first project without any, profit pupils or something like that, not a business. And from there I was freelance developer, and then I developed AutoDS for myself.
Wow. Were you like the main, like, did you ever hire a CTO, or what was the main CTO?
Yeah, my other co-founder, Michael, he is our CTO.
Okay.
I started by myself, but then I had to take a decision if I go to the business part of the business or I go to the technical
Tech,
part.
yeah.
And I believe that I'm much better and also much more, I like the business side of it.
Yeah.
I believe that even the development, for me, it always was just a tool and not what I really liked. So.
Yeah, because even for me, it sounds awful to have to think about like sitting down writing code for hours and hours, you know. I think the fun part is definitely the other part of the business, you know, the marketing, the face, you know.
The
But
business, the people.
the business, the development. But it's interesting because most of the time you always have like, you know, Steve Jobs and Wozniak, you know, and you have like the face who's really good at like marketing, really like Steve Jobs, probably one of the best marketers in the world, and then you have Steve Wozniak, who was the guy who was doing all the coding. So it must have been tough for you to have been the coder and then transitioned, right? Because there are a lot of geeky people who've never made the transition into becoming like, because today you sit here, you go around, you do speeches in front of thousands of people live, and you were a coder before.
That's a great question, actually.
Yeah.
I really, really like this question. It's hard. It's hard to do this transition. I couldn't speak to a room of 10 people before, really like a year ago,
Wow.
except of AutoDS, which is mostly Zoom, because we have employees from more than 30 countries, but everything is remote. It was very, very hard to do this transition. I'm a freak of personal development, and I've done everything I could to face this challenge. So the public speaking, even after me becoming the CEO and everything, it was still very, very, very hard for me. I took courses, coaches, advisors. I took a lot of things like it's called the authentic movement, for example. It's something where, you know what is it? It's like there is someone who is sitting near you in the room and you're just dancing without music and they just watch you.
Why?
Because when you go on stage, one of the challenges is your body.
Yeah.
It's how you feel with your body.
Yeah.
Now I feel amazing in my body because I danced like a lot of time with someone just watching me.
You were dancing quietly.
Yeah.
Just you in the room with him alone, quiet, you just start dancing.
Yes. Without music.
For how long?
It depends on the time that she put there. It can be 5 minutes, 15
And
minutes.
what does the other person do? Do they clap or they just watch you like this?
They just watch you silently, and when you finish, they share with you what they think that you were imagining while you're
No.
dancing. And that's without any drugs. You just need to be there and
Sober.
dance, and that's it.
Start dancing.
You're just dancing.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
yeah, so that's
I never heard about that.
like taking you to the next level. And public speaking course.
Take you to the next level. I'm just imagining like some guy like saying like this and that. Like he's telling his dad like, look, I need to get development. What is that? Like, what class is this? Like it's like dance class, but no music.
Exactly.
Private
It's
dancing.
my psychologic trainer. He told me like this is one of the good things that you could do for the next level. Of course, I'm going to him also every week.
Till now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Advisors.
Like a therapist type, or is
Yeah,
it?
therapist. I think it's great for everyone.
Nice, yeah.
After the exit, I had to, from a place where I don't have money, now I have. So I had to understand how I feel about that and what's the next thing, how to feel good with spending money. That's also something that you need to figure out.
Yeah.
When you come from no money to, okay, now you have it.
Yeah. Now you have too much of it.
But it's all this personal development. That's was really challenging and interesting for me, because when something becomes a routine
Yeah.
and easy, then it becomes boring for me. So yes, coding, I really liked it because you have like technical challenges, but it's always okay, another technical challenge. Now I have challenges with people, with management, with public speaking. So this is why the business side was always more interesting to me, because it's people and it's like thinking outside of the box and things like that. But I spent a lot of time really to improve myself. Even when we got acquired, it was only 7 months ago. Fiverr CEO came to me and said, Lior, listen, tomorrow you need to talk for 5 minutes and share with all Fiverr employees about yourself. It's like, it was in the room only like 700 people, plus Zoom, like more than 1,000 people. Now, before that, I didn't speak on any stages, only like very tiny ones. I couldn't sleep a night before. I meditated for more than 1 hour before that. And like it was very stressful. Today in the affiliate world, I didn't even think about it. I had great nights, slept very well, woke up in the morning, had some work on the computer, and then went there on stage. And because I really spent a lot of time on improving myself for that.
Nice.
And I believe that any challenge that we want to overcome, we can. If I want, I don't know, tomorrow to run a marathon, I will do that. Like just a matter of decision of what you want to do.
Honestly, I love that so much. A freak of personal development. For me, even like in my life, it's always been like a challenge for me. Like I used to, for example, I've spoken about this before, but I used to smoke. I used to vape. Then I quit that. Then I started gym. And now it's been like 3 years. I've been consistent, but it's always been like a challenge. Like now, like 1 year ago, I basically stopped listening to music. Because for me in Islam, like we say like there's a lot of rules about like not all types of music. I mean, the scholars differ in the interpretation of what's allowed and what's not allowed, but essentially music that's intoxicating or music that has a lot of vulgar. Nowadays the music which goes on is like very vulgar, swear words. It's making people do like it promotes like evil and stuff like that. So it's always been like a challenge for me that like to challenge my discipline, to give myself a challenge. Like this month I'm gonna stop this, or this week I'm gonna start this. Now I've been trying to learn languages. I've been trying to learn Russian. Because right now I can speak Arabic, English, and it's always like, okay, which new language can I learn, right?
Yeah.
But to the lengths that you went, like to do like the dancing class and stuff like that, like I don't think many people are willing to go to that length. So talk to us about self-improvement then. Like what else have you been doing to like self-improve? What's some of the stuff that your coaches told you in terms of like, okay, leave the part aside about how to face a big crowd or how to talk in public. Let's say in the business side, what helped you become a better entrepreneur? You said your team is remote. For me, when I hire here in Dubai, and I sit with them in the office, and no one's remote, and I find it very like difficult to try to hire someone in a different country. Like, how am I going to talk to them? How am I going to understand them? How am I going to deal with them? Like, people are in Dubai, sometimes I can't delegate to them well.
Yeah, we have people from more than 30 different countries. The headquarters are all sitting together in the office, but that's also one of the decisions of the CMO, my other partner. When he joined, he really wanted the people to be near him in the office. Before that, it was kind of the DNA of dropshipping, and you can work from anywhere. That was the idea. But how we manage, and for me it's super important, we all macro managers. I don't know how to manage someone in micro. I don't check hours, never. I don't check what tasks they've done. I track only one thing, and that's the KPIs. We use a method called OKRs, objective key results. So for each quarter, we set the objectives,
Objective key?
key results,
Key result, okay.
OKRs.
Interesting.
It's objective, so it's usually 2 to 3 objectives per quarter, per department or per team. So it goes from company level, then department, then teams. And then for each objective, we have 2 to 3 KPIs. And the results is basically the tasks. But I track the KPIs. I don't track the tasks. I don't care about if you've done this task or that task. Because the tasks can change. We call it initiatives. So that all can change. But the KPI, that's the goal. So we track what percentage of the KPI you already done in the first week of the quarter, second week, fourth week, half of the quarter, and then
Can you
we
give an
can.
example?
Yes, let's say we are saying get from X trials on AutoDS per day to Y trials. Okay, just for numbers, let's say we do from 1,000 trials to 1,500 trials per day.
Trials,
So,
like free trials.
paid trials, but it's just numbers as example.
Okay.
So from here we are starting to track. Okay, so if I know we set from 1,000 to 1,500. So if I see that, let's say half of the quarter already finished, and now we are in 1,250 trials, so half of the way. I know that 50% of the KPI is done. But if I see that we are now getting still 1,050 trials, so we are doing something wrong, we are not on the right way, because half of the quarter passed and we are only in a minor improvement, or even maybe we declined. So that's, and then I can sit down with the manager, or the manager can sit down with the team and understand what we've done wrong. There they will check the tasks, the initiatives, but they will not check it because they care about if the initiative is done or not. They check it because the KPI didn't work. So that's our approach for, and then it doesn't matter if the employee is in one country or another country, if they're in the office or if they're remote, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
What matters is to track the KPIs, and this is why we don't use time management softwares. We don't care. Like, we use that only for to know what we need to pay. But if someone is saying he's doing 180 hours per month, for example, but he's not bringing the value for this, so yes, we will fire them and we will replace them.
In the
But
same way, if someone does like 3 hours, but they're bringing their KPIs.
we don't care.
Yeah.
We had employees that we knew that 100% they don't work full time, even that they say that they work full time, but they're amazing. They had really good results. So why it matters?
Yeah.
If they are amazing, so why would they say,
Yeah,
hey,
for
you
sure.
worked only 5 hours and not 8?
Yeah. I mean, the difficulty arises in the latter part, right? Like, the first part is great. Like, I can give one of my teammates a KPI. I'm just taking some private coaching now since you're a very big coach, or you were. But yeah, the issue, and I'm sure other people face the same issue. The first part is good. Yeah, like, you give them a KPI. If they're on track to fix it, perfect, right? Most of the time, what happens is, perhaps most of the time, the team member or the employee doesn't know exactly how to fix that KPI. Like, you may tell them, okay, make one from 1,500 to 2,000 trials. And most of the time, like 8 out of 10 times, I feel like they'd go about the wrong way. I mean, these are entrepreneurs. These are team members, not entrepreneurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've hired them. They may not be experts, right? They may not be that passionate. So that's where the challenge comes. And I think that's why some people go into more of like the micromanagement, because now that person like will try some new strategy and they may be going about it the wrong way. And sometimes you tell people to go about it, and this is my opinion, like, I want you to like give me your thoughts on that. You may tell people like, okay, this is how you go about it, but still they don't really go about it as you said to go about it. Then you ended up like, now you're giving them the advice, like you said, the manager's giving them advice, like, look, you went about it the wrong way. This is how you go about it. This is what I tell you to do. A, B, C. This is the formula to improve, to reach the KPI. Now, at some point, you kind of have to measure if they were doing that, making that change or no, because it's very difficult for people to follow that person's formula without like having done it before. And because that person's telling them that formula, they haven't done it before, right? Like, it's a new step for them. So then it ends up becoming where the point where the person is having to track, did you try it? You get what I mean?
Yeah, so first, remember how I look at that is that managers equal leaders, and at that situation we act more like advisors. So basically we advise them how to get to these KPIs. Yes, of course, we will sit with them, we will do the brainstorming, we will prepare the tasks. That's part of the process. We set up the KPIs, then we have a brainstorming meeting, we write the tasks, we give our ideas, we do weekly calls where we check what are the tasks that are done, but we don't check the tasks because we care about the tasks. We check it because we want to advise them how to do their job in a better way. Now, if I already mentioned the advisors, one of the biggest things for me, we talked before about personal development and everything, is advisors. From day one, used tens or maybe already hundreds of advisors. In each moment of the business, we have at least 10 advisors in AutoDS that are working with us for many different things, for many different problems or niches, and even for the employees. If someone doesn't succeed with their job, we will bring them the advisor who will guide them how to succeed, who will guide them how to take it to the next level. Advisors is really gold. That's one of the best shortcuts for us to
Very
success.
interesting. Advisors. So these are like not employees, they're just outsourced advisors?
Outsourced advisors. We check for people that done what we want to do for other companies or for other businesses. We reach out to them. Hey, could you please help us?
Wow.
We do hourly call, like hourly payments. From there, we do retainers, and then we keep going
Wow.
until we don't find any more use from this advisor.
Interesting. So you basically find mentors for your employees?
Yes,
Well,
for employees,
private,
for myself.
It's like private mentors, or is it like they do like the whole department? Or
Usually private mentors
individual?
because we need them to be very efficient with what we need. Yeah.
But how do you determine that someone's worth that investment? Because you're paying hourly, right? And sometimes you might ask yourself, okay, should I fire this person and replace him with someone else and then do the coaching? Or should I coach this person? How do you just determine that?
The most important thing for me is motivation. You know, these employees that are doing the minimum that required to not fire them.
The worst ones.
So that's the worst thing. And that's in these people we will not invest. We'll give them the try. We always give the chance. But if we see that it doesn't work, yes, we also know when to fire. That's important.
Yeah. Interesting. So, okay, 200 members and they're all remote.
Yeah.
Now, recently. And you said you have, like, now you mentioned like 3 partners.
Yes.
Interesting. And this new partner is a CMO. When did he join?
So the CTO joined around a year after we started, the CMO 2 years after we started. They both very good friends of mine. They just gave me consultant, like some advices, the CTO for the technical side, and then I saw that we are working well together, and then he joined, the CMO in the marketing side, and then he joined.
Wow. How did you know these people?
From school.
From school?
Actually, like the CMO dropped from the school and he didn't finish, so we had just mutual friends. The CTO was 2 years above me, also friend of friends, just asked him for advice. I worked for some time as a developer, freelance in one startup, and he basically gave me this job, so also from there I knew him.
Interesting. But it's tough because I'm thinking, look, my business, I started alone. And people have always asked me, like, why don't you have any partners? And I think a part of me is like, I don't want to give up my baby. You know what I mean? Like I built this shit from scratch. You know what I mean? From ground up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always just seems like you can just hire good talent instead of like making them partners. Obviously, when you make someone a partner, it's a whole different ballgame. But how do you determine who to make a partner? How to find them? Who's worthy of being a partner? Second question. And third question, how much share to give them?
To me, the most important thing was the journey and to enjoy it. So I had options to hire people who are very successful entrepreneurs, not to join as partners to me. I had some opportunities like that, much older than myself, over 50 years old, very successful, had multiple businesses. I knew that I will raise money with them, I will succeed with the business with them, but I still decided to go with people that I enjoy with them because it's a journey. And being CEO is lonely.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and you want someone also that will be with you there with the same interest. It doesn't matter if they have the same shares or a bit less, but you want to be aligned. You want someone who will be with you for this long journey and that will have the exact same interest as yourself. So this is why they joined, and yes, I could hire a CTO, give him 1% or 2%, and probably maybe it would work. I don't know, but he would not be committed, same as someone who is real partner.
Yeah.
And I believe that it's, a relationship like any other relationship where he knows everything about me. We talk about things. We are very transparent with each other. It wasn't an easy decision.
No, yeah.
But there is also a way to overcome that. You can split the shares for 4 years and then...
Vesting.
Yeah, you can do vesting. So after 1 year, you do the first, and then every quarter you open more shares for them.
Yeah.
And then you can see for this time if it works or not.
Yeah. You know, it's really what the real smart people do. There's like, I've seen this video where like I think Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he has like 9% of Amazon. And they have like such small percentages in these massive businesses which they build from scratch. But they give so much percent away because they understand that it's better to have a small piece of a massive pie.
Yeah.
You know, it's better to have 10% of a $100 million company than 100% of a $1 million company.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
But then a question. Would I not rather give my best team member and make them a partner? Or would I rather find someone else and bring them in and then make them a partner?
That really depends on the team member, because it's different skills. Of course, you need someone experienced as yourself. I think that first, I'm not saying that the partners need to be the same. We are all very, very, very different. I run very fast forward, unorganized at all. The CMO is very organized, very thinking like long term, and the CTO is more like stable behind the scenes, organizing everything. So like we are very, very, very different mindset. It makes a lot of like things that we are not agree on, but that's what takes the business forward. But on the other hand, you need someone that has similar experience to you, that already achieved some things. You cannot, otherwise you will not be at the same level. You will not feel that you are partners. So it really depends on the team member.
So you think they need to be on the same level as you?
Yes, because otherwise you will always feel that you are pushing them up, and like
I get you.
that's just my opinion. Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Do any of your team members have like, let's say, a percentage in the company?
yes, we have a
1%, 2%.
like options pool where we give employees options. Now with Fiverr, it's called RSU, so they also get some shares in Fiverr.
Oh, nice.
Depends on the level in the organization.
Wow, nice. Talk to me about Jordan Welch's acquisition. How did that go about? Did you see him promoting this viral vault and you're like, hey, I want to buy that?
So the funny thing is that it happened like 2 or 3 months before we got acquired by Fiverr. A lot of people think that it was intentional. It wasn't. We just done the right thing for the business at that time. With Jordan Welch, again, it all comes back to the personal relationship and personal connection. We felt that we are working really well together. We were working with him on his YouTube channel. He was using our software for his challenges where he was selling necklaces, and like we were the supplier behind this thing. And it all worked well. And then we saw that he's doing something very similar to what we do in AutoDS, which is helping people to find products. So we said, hey, if he's doing that and he has a full team that's running this thing, and we already have the same team that's running it in our company, we can just take this software, merge to ours, and increase our revenue, increase our profit margins just by this move. And also he wanted to focus fully on YouTube. He wanted to go back to YouTube and focus just on that, not on software. Software is not an easy business. And that's why it happened.
You know, I've done a podcast with Jordan Welch and I've done a speech with him. I actually flew him to Dubai with the Dubai government for a speech in Dubai for a 1 billion followers summit.
Wow.
And we did like a panel together, just me and him, about building a brand. And he spoke about the acquisition. I think he said it was like, I think 7 figures.
Yeah.
He's spoken about publicly, right? 7 figures. So that's incredible. Basically, Lior is the type of guy who gives your favorite YouTuber 7 figures. He gives your favorite YouTuber a couple million. But it's interesting. And we're running out of time. I want to ask you, what's your main key points of advice if somebody wants to set up an Ecom brand, somebody wants to be successful right now? What do you advise them to do?
So to me, it's always about improve yourself first, and then the business will follow. That's one. Second, I never looked at the end goal of the journey. I never thought that, okay, I will sell my business. I thought maybe it will be IPO, maybe it will be lifestyle business. I didn't know what it will be. The only thing I knew was what's my next challenge, and I just solved and overcame the challenges and the problems one by one. And that was for me. I always said, okay, if this competitor can do that, I can do the same. I can do that even better. If I have this problem, how can I can overcome this problem and become a better company or a better version of myself? It always was about fixing problems one by one and overcoming challenges one by one, and not about looking at the end of the journey. And that's the thing that I think people need to take from here, because it's really hard to look, okay, in 5 years I will do that. No, you're running a business. The environment always changing. Now AI came and everything changed. And you need to see what is the next challenge, fix that, improve that, and then move on. That's my opinion. So it's all about consistency. There will be up and downs, and we just need to stay consistent.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
All right. That you have Lior Pozin,
Yeah.
8-figure entrepreneur. For those of you who don't know, that's between $10 to $99 million. Somewhere you have to guess. But that's a shit ton of money, and now your new challenge is just helping Fiverr, right? So what's your new position? Are you still you're still CEO of AutoDS?
I'm still the CEO at AutoDS. We run as an independent business. I report to Fiverr's president, and yeah.
Nice, Fiverr CEO. All right, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate having you on the show. I know your channel AutoDS. It has like 300,000 subscribers. I think people should, if you're watching this video, go and check out AutoDS YouTube channel. Has 300,000 subscribers. For your own software company to have a channel with 300,000 subscribers is very impressive. What type of videos does it upload?
Thank you so much, first for having me. What type of videos we upload? We upload everything related to dropshipping on eBay, Amazon, Shopify, everything people need to know about that. Maybe later also make money online.
Nice.
And also follow me on Instagram, Lior
Follow,
Pozin.
follow him on Instagram, guys. His Instagram is popping. You'll see he's followed by all your favorite YouTubers, all your favorite entrepreneurs. So, Lior Pozin, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in e-commerce, this is the place to go, AutoDS. Seems pretty legit. I'm going to check it out myself. Take care, guys. Thank you.